Diddy verdict in why he will go free.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. This is a breaking news update as we just got confirmation of the Diddy verdict, and this changes everything. Let's get right into it. For the last month, we have been talking about the Diddy trial and all the drama that has been going on with it. So much stuff has come out in the trial that we were all expecting Diddy to be put away forever. What I was complaining about was the fact that none of Diddy's accomplices were ever named in the trial. Not a single celebrity accomplice was named in the trial, and that had me worried since the beginning.
And that's why I'm saying that justice is dead. You guys have to understand that what Diddy was doing, he was doing it for decades. Decades. Name me one music executive that went to Diddy's party is now behind bars because he went to Diddy's party. The people that will understand, I'm not talking about them. Name me anybody else outside of it who's gonna go to prison because of the action that they indulged in with Diddy.
When I saw the courts protecting Hollywood, I started getting a feeling that Diddy was going to get away with this. And the reason I felt that was because Diddy was requesting to be able to name the other celebrities that were his accomplices during the freak-offs, and the courts refused. It appeared that Diddy was protected in order to protect the rest of Hollywood. Now we finally got a verdict in the Diddy trial, and it's not what none of us wanted, as right now, it appears that Diddy might walk out of there free. It was recently reported that the jury delivered a mixed verdict, with Diddy being acquitted of the most serious charges, including the racketeering conspiracy and the S-trafficking charges. However, he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now the judge is awaiting the decision on whether to release Combs on bail while he awaits sentencing or to keep him in jail until sentencing. But he was acquitted of the racketeering conspiracy and S-trafficking charges, only being convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, the judge will determine the sentence, but from what I read, the maximum penalty for his charges are 10 years for each count. All of the media is reporting though that Diddy was ecstatic, cheering and happy when he found out that he was acquitted of all the other charges, because those were the serious charges that were supposed to put him away for life. And if you've been following this case, I believe, and I know many of you believe, that the prosecution truly proved that Diddy was trafficking these people and had a RICO empire. But what this verdict tells us is that A, either Diddy made a deal with the elite, or 2, Diddy has so much dirt on them that he can easily blackmail them. This entire situation is a letdown, and I honestly thought that Diddy was going to go to prison, and there's still a possibility that he can go to prison, but as of what it's looking like right now, who knows what's gonna happen. We saw with the Young Thug situation, how Young Thug did all these crimes, admitted to doing the crimes, rapped about doing the crimes. During the trial, they had so much evidence presented, it started looking like Young Thug was gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. They let him.
I think this is pretty much a power flex. Every single time a black person who is in a position of power steps out of line, well, the ones that are above them come and say, yeah, we still own you, buddy, and we can lock you up whenever we want. Here's an example of that, by the way. And then you go through all these court process just for them to set you free and say, see, if we wanted to, we could have found you guilty of every single one of those crimes, and we could have given you the death penalty, but we didn't do that. So you better get back in line. That's how I see these. Some black people, they end up locking them up. Some of them, they're like, yeah, lock them up. But a lot of them, they set them free. Even though we know for a fact that this person did the crime.
Go. Yeah, he got charged. Yes, he took a plea deal, but the plea deal allowed him to walk out of jail untouched after all this evidence was presented, and he basically admitted to being a murderer. Yet, regular people are getting sentenced for missing a court date. You know, the difference is these people are Masonic puppets. These people are a part of the Masonic system. And like I've said before, the Masons help each other every chance they get. Remember this interview that Bill Cooper did of another Mason who infiltrated a lodge? He admitted himself that the Masons protect each other no matter what. He stated that when a Mason goes to prison, all the Mason has to do is let the judge know that he's a Mason, and if the judge is a Mason too, which he likely is, they let the person go.
When you're speeding down a highway and you're stopped by a law enforcement officer, what happens when he sees the Masonic emblem on your windshield?
Usually what you have is a direct turnaround in attitude. I myself am a young man. I get hassled by cops a little bit. It seems like they always have cop an attitude when they pull me over, but when they see the Masonic square and compasses on my car, and most importantly when I flip out my dues paying card, a card that all dues paying Masons carry, the police officer, well, let me just put it this way, I've never once got a speeding ticket or a traffic ticket or have even been harassed in any way when they have known that I am a Mason.
Now, what happens when a Freemason goes into court against someone who's not a Freemason and the judge is a Freemason?
Okay, well, you have a very subtle interaction that goes on. All Masons are taught secret signs and secret words and secret phrases and this is some of the most, this is what they don't want revealed more than anything else.
This is not blurry on my, it's blurry on my end, guys. I kind of wish I could see these hand signs a little bit better, but truth of the matter is you see all of these, especially like when you see like talk shows and all these things, they would do these signs, but us laymen who are not taught these signs, we don't know. We don't pay attention to it. That's why devil worshippers or Masonic people, what they do is they would tell you what they're going to do before they do it. The only reason people don't catch on it is because we don't know. We don't see it. I mean, seriously, like literally, you set a Mason person right in front of you, and while they're talking to you, they will throw some Masonic signs and you won't even know.
Stand in a particular position, you can hold your arms in a particular position, you can speak certain words, the widow's son, traveling man, keywords and phrases that will let this judge know that you are a Mason. And
in the show News Radio, they revealed that Freemason judges protect Freemason brothers. In season 3, episode 15, they literally openly reveal it and use the real word.
Is that Joe Rogan? I didn't know he was on a TV show. There's no way. That's awesome. I did not know that.
Word for the Master Masons, which is Tubal-Cain, as the code that Masons tell judges to be set free.
That all federal, state, and local judges are members of a certain obscure sect of the Freemasons.
Now, hold on. Our strategy is that all judges are Masons?
There's more to it than that.
Like what?
Well, there's a secret Masonic word which, when uttered, obligates judges to rule in your favor. Then they have to go paddle each other off in a secret cave somewhere.
If Diddy walks out of there free, this was the plan all along. We know that the Masons have specific rituals that they do during certain times of the year when rising in specific degrees, so it's very possible that this entire situation with Diddy was just one giant ritual. Now, the most important part to consider is the fact that no other celebrity was named. They were all protected. When I saw that, I already knew this entire case was going to be nonsense. I already knew that nothing was going to come from it because they were protecting all the other monsters that was hanging around Diddy.
And deadass, that's why I did not post any videos. Not any videos, sorry. That's why I didn't post a lot of videos talking about this whole case. Because once I heard that, you know, some of these celebrities are not to be named, right then and then I figured, yeah, this is bullshit. You know, like this right here is a power play. This is just to flex on Diddy. Because one thing that you need to understand is that I heard that Diddy was actually trying to create his own political party and also his alcohol company, Ciroc, right? He was also trying to sue that company. And when I heard these things, and then all of a sudden, he's now in court for all this crime that they knew about. You guys know the video that was released of him hitting Cassie in the hotel? Yeah, they knew about that video they got their hand on that video months before they finally decided to release that video into the public. Yeah, they're all in on it. We are the fools to actually think that these people are trying to, you know, practice justice. They're all protecting each other.
Because they know that most of the people in Hollywood are doing exactly what Diddy did. Now, for those that are going to say Diddy did no crimes, you really need to open your eyes. Stop defending this monster because it's pretty obvious. I have been exposing Diddy since I created this channel because I have heard the stories about Diddy since I was a child. I grew up in New York and everybody knew about Diddy. Yes, he was praised. Yes, people loved him, but also people spoke about him being this evil monster and how he did all these things. And when
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like those black people who like to use the black art of, oh, he's black excellence and we need to protect him. Fuck all that. I don't give a damn. He can be freaking dark as purple. I don't care. This man is a monster and he needed to be locked up for life. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's a billionaire. I don't care if he's a self-made billionaire. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if he's the president of the United States or the world leader. None of that matters to me. If somebody commits a crime, lock him up. I don't care what his skin color is.
I started researching into Diddy, it was right in the open. It was pretty obvious. Diddy definitely did all the crimes he was charged with. That's 100% obvious. The women basically admitted that they were used for his freak-offs, whether they wanted to do them or not. Now, yes, some of them consented to it. Yes, some of them wanted to do it. But you guys have to use your brain. Diddy was the gatekeeper for the music industry. If you wanted success in the music industry, you had to please Diddy. When these upcoming artists are put in front of Diddy, they have a choice either to throw away their dreams, their career, everything they worked so hard for, everything they wanted in life, or compromise themselves, sell out, and do what Diddy wants. And that's what Cassie did. Now, yes, Cassie had the decision at the beginning, of course. We all have a decision, but it's a decision that is really not fair. Because if you want to be an artist and that is your dream and that's everything you're working for, you can easily be taken advantage of by the person who can give you that opportunity. And that's exactly what Diddy did every single time. He did it to Cassie, he did it to the Jane Doe, he did it to Gina, he did it to Young Miami. He has done it to every single celebrity. He's done it to Justin Bieber, he done it to Usher. This is how the industry hazes and initiates its new members. This is what Diddy has been doing to everyone. You can't put all the blame on Diddy, but you can definitely put the majority of the blame on Diddy and partial blame on Cassie and other victims because yes, they did choose this, but they weren't given much of a choice if they wanted to have the career that they wanted.
And you guys also need to understand that when a lot of these celebrities go to these parties, they get drugged. There are drugs out there that you've never heard of. There are drugs out there that will give you a heart attack. There are drugs out there that will make you completely forget what just happened. And a lot of the time, they slip this drug into your drink and you don't even know. And then the next thing you know, you wake up in the morning and your butt is sore. And then they got you on tape saying, hey, you better sign this deal and you better keep your mouth shut or else we're going to release this video. And on top of that, they might end up unaliving you and then say it was an accident. Or they may threaten your family and say, hey, by the way, we know your daughter, we know your wife, we know your mom, dad, grandpa, brother, whatever, whoever it is that is dear to you. They said if you step out of line, you do something, we're just gonna, they're gonna die of accidental death. So that's why a lot of these people don't come out and speak up.
It's not just Diddy either. Hollywood is doing exactly what Diddy does. From the beginning of Hollywood, there has been men that make women and other men do compromising things for those top spot opportunities. That's why so many of these celebrities, when they get to the top, they start being corrupt like that because they have to do it to the others. That's how they keep the system going. Now, I honestly feel that Diddy might be left free now, and I'm honestly truly disappointed. I'm actually hurt about this because for a moment, I actually thought that there was going to be justice for all the things that this man did. But like I've said before, it was never justice for the sake of justice. It was simply justice because the elite had an issue with Diddy, which most likely he solved now. He was in there with other billionaires and it's likely that Diddy fixed his relationship with the Masonic Order. And if you think about it, that's pretty obvious when you realize that the trial seemed rather guided. A lot of the information that we were told existed before the trial never made it to the trial. Specifically, there was not a single moment that they spoke about all the footage that they found, all the freak-off footage that they found at Diddy's mansion. They didn't tell us who was there with Diddy, what was going on in that footage, none of that. This is Hollywood protecting Hollywood, and Diddy is a massive part in Hollywood. Diddy had enough dirt to bring down everyone. Just look at the people he was hanging out with. Recently, his own bodyguard admitted that he thought Trump was gonna pardon Diddy. He said that he personally took Diddy to hang out with Trump and to have meetings with Trump.
Diddy was the Epstein of Hollywood. Yeah. Epstein was for politicians. Diddy was for musicians and rappers and movie actors. Yeah. So maybe if Diddy goes, perhaps if they were to find Diddy guilty on all the crime, even though in my personal opinion he should have been found guilty of all of it, I believe that Diddy would have committed suicide. Yeah.
Several times. And we already know Trump's pardoned all these Masonic puppets. He pardoned Kodak Black. He pardoned Lil Wayne. He pardoned Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation. So honestly, there was a possibility that he was gonna pardon Diddy. This entire situation just lets you know that we live in two different worlds. The Masons, they have their own world, their own legal system, they do whatever they want. We, on the other hand, are oppressed, we're taken advantage of, and there's nothing really we could do. Now, I'm gonna keep on following this trial to see what other updates come in. We're gonna see if Diddy actually gets sentenced to the 10 years or 20 years, whatever they're saying they're gonna sentence him to. But chances are, let's be honest, sadly, it's looking like Diddy is gonna walk. It's looking like they're gonna let him go. They'll probably give him probation or something like that, and parole, whatever they give you, and he's gonna walk free. And unfortunately, he's gonna be back out there, and you know it for a fact. In the first 24 hours, he's gonna have himself a freak off. He's gonna have all these sex magic rituals going on, and it's looking like a lot of you guys were saying, that this was just all scripted. This was all just nonsense. I tried to see it for what it was. I tried to understand. Honestly, at the beginning, it did look like the elite had turned on Diddy, but now it just looks like another nonsense ritual that they had going on. I want to know what you guys think below. Do you think Diddy's going to be sentenced to the 10 years, or would he walk free? Well, that's it for this video.
Oh, is he gonna walk free? Nah, I think there's gotta be some form of punishment. They have to punish him some way, one way or another. Maybe he might not be charged for all three cases, or sorry, all two, the two that he's been found guilty of. But they have to give him some kind of punishment, or else people are gonna be like, yeah, this is some horse shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, like you said, man, as soon as Diddy gets out, there's no doubt this dude is probably going through some massive withdrawal right now, and he's probably using something to subdue himself, to keep himself calm in court, so that way he doesn't freak out. Because I haven't done the drugs that he has done, but I can tell you that going that long without doing those drugs, yeah, you need something to keep yourself subdued in order for you to keep, to focus. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it there, man. I'll stay looking at the trial, but in my opinion, after him not being found guilty of all of it, yeah, it was a power play.